Am I the asshole for telling my aunt and family that they've lost access to my sister?
A few days ago, I 23F was supposed to pick up my little sister 7F, whom I have sole custody of, but my aunt 32F overstepped and said she would pick her up and drop her off to me.
She took 45 minutes to do so, although I live 10 miles away and was only 5 away from pickup.
Fast forward to the next day, my little sister informs me that while she was with our aunt, she saw our estranged mother, whom is only allowed to be seen during supervised visits with CPS only.
I texted my aunt and asked her if it were true. She began telling me there was no need for me to tell you because that is her mom, and she began attacking me verbally. She said she isn't wrong for hiding it, she invalidated how I felt, she disregarded how crucial it is for me to know these things. The rest of my family also began to text me. My grandma even took her side. I told them that they have lost access for not understanding the sacrifices I've made for my sister, not understanding that I've committed the rest of my life to this and not respecting my wishes. Am I the asshole? NTA, Mom has court orders about her visitation. They all just helped her break those and could get in a lot of trouble. Not the asshole. Wait until CPS figures out she's seeing her child unsupervised. Hurt feelings is a lot better than prison. Not the asshole. Let me tell you something. I was abused badly from birth to about 22 years old. Non-stop every day. Physical, emotional, mental abuse from both parents. I do have a slight hurt for my siblings, especially the way older one, because they never did anything to stop it. They just told me that's the way it is and nothing can be done. That wasn't true, something could have, but they all failed me. I now live with 28 chronic illnesses, and now at age 31 developing gastroparesis and spinal disease. All my docs agree it's from the constant abuse I suffered my whole life. You're saving a whole life. Don't let anyone guilt you or make you second-guess yourself. Save that child. You're amazing. Saint. Not the asshole, and I'd call and complain to CPS. This is super sketchy. I don't know what's happened in the past, but I do know that for custody to be taken from a parent, and a requirement for CPS supervision on visits, there has to be a serious reason in play. So aunt is wrong about a need to tell you, because you have sole custody and are presumably her legal guardian now. Wrong for hiding it, and the fact she did hide it makes it clear she knows she's in the wrong. Wrong for assuming she can ignore a court order like that. Not the asshole in the least. You're a good person and she should probably be counting herself lucky that the police aren't involved. Not the asshole. You had me at only allowed to be seen during supervised visits with CPS. Of course your aunt and family are being assholes here. And if they can't follow a simple rule, then of course you shouldn't give them access to your sister. I don't know the details, but it seems unlikely that CPS would put a restriction like that in place for no reason. Also, I suggest that you let CPS know what happened. Building a paper trail for things like this can often be very valuable. Keeping secrets from government agencies often ends poorly. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my younger half-sister have the something borrowed that she asked for? My younger half-sister Leah, 19 female, is getting married. Our dad and her mom are paying for the wedding, and this will come in a bit later. I, 27 female, was asked by Leah if she could borrow a necklace I wore on my wedding day. That was my mom's before me, which she wore to her wedding to my dad. This was a sore topic. Even though my mom had wanted all of her jewelry to go to me, Dad had given Leah a few things when she was a child. He told me I had no say in the matter, and he loved my mom and wanted both his daughters to have pieces of her, even though Leah is not my mom's child. I still dislike that she has some of my mom's jewelry. But I know Dad has built her up to see it as something sweet. So when she asked me to borrow the necklace I wore on my wedding day and Mom wore on hers, it stung again. I told her she could not borrow that, but I offered to let her borrow some of my jewelry. Stuff that isn't connected to my mom. Leah told me that wasn't fair and she wanted to get married matching me on my wedding day in some way. She asked if I'd feel differently if Dad and her mom weren't paying for it. She told me she knows I don't like her parents and she doesn't think I should take it out on her. I said no, it's not that, it's that I don't want to share my mom's jewelry with her. That I never wanted her to have some of my mom's stuff. That was all Dad. And I wasn't giving her another piece even just for one day. She accused me of gatekeeping my mom. She told me she had just as much right to it as I did. I asked her why when she has her own mom. She told me because everyone knows Dad only ever loved my mom and her mom is less than second best. And clearly sharing something from my mom means he loves her, Leah, as an actual daughter despite him not loving her mom.
That she wants to feel like I love her as a true sister and not some half thing that I wish didn't exist.
She told me letting her borrow the necklace can show that. I still said no. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole.
The obvious, it's your property. You have every right to say no for any reason you like.
She's a jerk for pressing the matter when your answer was no.
Secondly, it's so weird that she wants a piece of jewelry owned by the only woman her dad loved. That's like saying, well, if Dad didn't love her, neither did I. Single quote.
Not the asshole. Leah is using some twisted logic to try to get to you.
Does her mom know about this BS?
Did she put her up to it? Anywho. My thought is if she borrows that necklace you never see it again.
You know, as further proof, you love her like a true sister or whatever story she comes up with next. Her and her mom need therapy if it's true.
Not the asshole. It sounds like Leah didn't hear the word no enough when she was growing up. She doesn't have the right to your stuff. And she doesn't have a right to your mom. You have your mom's jewelry because you no longer have your mom. She still has her mom, so she can stop whining about how unfair it is that you won't share your mementos with her. Not the asshole.
To be honest, it's unbelievable that this is happening to you.
She should wear the necklace her mom wore to her wedding with your dad.
You have every right to gatekeep your mom as she is just that, your mom.
What is she even saying?
Like someone else commented here, her mom and her def need therapy cause this is not okay.
The fact that your dad even supports it boggles my mind.
She should even return the jewelry she got and please not wear any of it at her wedding because that is too far.
She should create the same tradition with her own mom. Not the asshole. She's gonna keep it if you let her borrow it. Make sure all your mom's stuff is under lock and key so she can't get to it. Not the asshole.
Your sister sounds needy and controlling, law.
In what universe does she have any right to your mother's jewelry?
Your father is also a clown, but that's a whole different issue.
Am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend it's weird he uses his hazards while braking in traffic? My boyfriend, 28 male, and I, 25 female, have just wrapped up a very long cross-country road trip. While traveling, we naturally encountered traffic jams, and during some of the more abrupt stops, he put on the hazard lights of the car whilst braking. I brought it up that I find it kinda weird that he does this, and maybe it isn't necessary. I guess beyond the fact that I've never heard of someone else doing this, I worry about other drivers around us. I told him, what if the person behind you takes it the wrong way? But that's probably me overanalyzing.
IDK, it seems like a bit of overkill?
He got frustrated with me for being a backseat driver and asked me to stop nitpicking, paraphrasing, his driving. I get that. I guess I just still think it's weird. So, am I the asshole? Do people think this is normal? For clarification, we both live in the US. He grew up in the Midwest, I'm from the Easy Coast, and we were mostly on major highways during our drive. Update. It has been so interesting to see how some people, like me, have never seen this before, while it is custom practice in other countries. Boyfriend is very proud to be driving like the best. I am excited for him and really admire his cleverness. He started this of his own accord and also rarely sees it on the road. Definitely have learned something and have had my mind changed. I admit I am still learning how to not backseat drive and comment on small things. I agree that at the crux of this is my nature to control. I really didn't mean the word weird to be mean, however. I am a naturally curious person, and I really appreciate the comments from those in long-term partnerships offering really great suggestions for communication in the form of curiosity rather than criticism, critique. My favorite perspective that I saw a few times is he may have been overly cautious since I was in the car. We read many of these together, and when he saw that, he agreed that is a big part of it for him. I am lucky to be in a relationship where these instances of using the wrong language are not the end of the world. Still, I am going to work on my approach and reflect on why I feel the need to comment. As an aside, we actually got the idea to post this from the podcast Smosh Reads Reddit Stories, which we listened to a lot on our long drive.
This was my first post and have never really explored Reddit, so I agree with those saying this could have been better suited for other forums like No Stupid Questions.
And yes, I googled. And no, there wasn't a clear answer. Unfortunately, in the US, every state has different road laws, making it hard to find a clear answer.
Thank you to the people who didn't shame the question itself.
Grammar, spelling people. I changed my mistake. Hope your eyes are happy. I also was cringing as I realized my oops. You are the asshole. I drive professionally and see this all the time and do it myself when the situation calls for it. It is not weird at all and very much appreciated at times.
It tells the car behind that you're not just braking to adjust your speed a bit, but that something unusual is going on. If the sightline is a bit blocked because you're coming around a curve or there's some larger vehicle in front or something, it can be hard to immediately tell that there's a stop or buildup of traffic coming up. But if the hazards come on, you know to right away drop the accelerator and start braking yourself.
Once another vehicle is behind you at the lower speed, you can drop the hazards. He's right.
You're being a backseat driver and nitpicking when he's doing right.
You are the asshole. I'm from the US but learned to do this when I was in the military while living in several other countries where traffic incidents are considerably less common. It lets other drivers know traffic is stopping abruptly.
Especially with all the idiots out there not paying attention, it's super useful.
I'm wondering if maybe he's traveled a little more than you and has had more experience with that sort of thing? Hazard lights are for hazards like abruptly stopping traffic.
Maybe try to keep an open mind and learn a little instead of just digging in your heels and doing well, I don't do it so it's weird.
That mindset is super weird to me, to be honest. You are the asshole, it's customary to do so.
That's how people behind you know there is a complete stop, or close to, in front. Every trucker does that.
Anyone who spends a considerable time driving knows that.
He doesn't need to do it, but it's nice for the people behind and there's no reasons to berate him about it.
If you don't want to do it, don't. Edit. I am from Canada though. Just saw your clarification you're from the U.S.
It's been a lot of years since I read the driver's manual for my state, but I'm pretty sure it explicitly mentions using hazards when you are traveling considerably slower than the traffic around you should reasonably expect for that stretch of roadway. For example, if the speed limit is 65, and you are traveling at 45, either because that's all the faster you can go or traffic, like a tractor, is going that slow. Having the hazards flashing when you are going slower than the expected speeds, when there isn't an expectation of vehicles slowing down, like on a long open stretch of highway with no side roads, should alert drivers behind you that you are in fact a hazard to the people behind you, if they don't take action, like slowing down or changing lanes, if possible.
You are the asshole.
If you're in a situation where you're cruising along at 70 mph and you have to come to a sudden stop, like in the middle of the highway, not at a light, then yes, you should throw on your hazards. You may have been attentive enough to come to a quick stop, but who's to say the asshole behind you is paying attention? You're making others aware of a hazard ahead, and isn't that literally why they're called hazard lights?
This comment section is insane. According to the highway code, you should mainly use hazard lights when your vehicle is stationary on the road and a potential hazard to other road users. This can occur if your vehicle has broken down, if you've had to stop because of another obstruction ahead, or if you've pulled over for another emergency reason. Am I the asshole for asking a trans man to walk me home? Am I the asshole for asking a trans man to walk me home? I 20F was invited to visit my sister 24 and friends met at university. I knew a couple of them, and one, the trans man in particular, more than others. I did not know some of them. On the second day, we had all gone out for some drinks to celebrate finishing uni. We had eaten out during the day and I suspected I had been accidentally given some gluten. Gluten cross-contamination happened and so wasn't feeling well, and was feeling worse as the time went on. I have an intolerance, so I was not in danger, just feeling nauseous with stomach pain, cramps. One of her friends, I'll call him Alex 25-ish, seems to like me, and had been trying to flirt despite me telling him I wasn't interested. I said I was going to walk back to their apartment where I was staying as I wasn't feeling well. I knew roughly where we were and where I needed to go, and was happy to go alone, maybe 10 minutes walk. I also had my phone with Google Maps if I needed it. Alex immediately wanted to walk me home, and I tried to gently say I was fine, he could stay and have fun, etc. Her trans friend Liam 23, then offered and said he was tired anyway. I felt more comfortable with Liam as I knew him far better, and he wasn't continually flirting, making me uncomfortable. I accepted Liam's offer and we left. Alex was visibly annoyed and tried to make me change my mind or let him come too. We insisted we were fine, and then a couple others came over to find him, so he left. Liam did return to the party a while later. Well, apparently I caused issues.
Being more comfortable with Liam is transphobic, as I don't perceive him as a real man and therefore also a danger.
And I put him in danger.
There's been a lot of back and forth over similar points. There's a rift in my sister's friend group and half are angry at me. Sis isn't sure who to side with, and is sure what happened exactly, as she wasn't there at the time of the conversation.
So, am I the asshole? Was I homophobic? Not the asshole. Remove trans from what you have said.
You made a choice between one male who was flirting and making you uncomfortable and a second male who you know and you felt comfortable with.
You went with the male you felt comfortable with.
Your sister's friends are making this a trans issue.
You're not the asshole.
The people who are offended are doing some Olympics-worthy mental gymnastics here. You are comfortable with Liam because you know him better and he doesn't impose unwanted flirting on you.
It has nothing to do with him being trans. It's all about his behavior versus the way Alex behaves towards you. Not the asshole. I felt more comfortable with Liam as I knew him far better, and he wasn't continually flirting, making me uncomfortable.
That was your reason.
Not the asshole. I am a trans man and I fail to see how anyone would find this offensive. He literally offered to walk home with you.
Your friends are actually the ones being dicks for saying you put Liam in danger, because it's clear they're the ones who actually don't see him as a man.
Liam made you comfortable and was friendly to you, so you accepted his kind offer. It's as simple as that. Your friends suck and need to get a grip. Not the asshole. Alex had rapey vibes. Liam did not.
See how fast their heads spin.
Not the asshole. Girl, what? Liam offered.
And between the guy hitting on you that you're not into and the guy not doing that who happens to be trans, I'll pick the second one any day.